You might be this animal. Energy levels, 100%. Attention span, 0. You like to eat bananas in the dark. You're up all night, but during the day, you're dead on the inside. Must be all those rats you've been eating. You favor neutral colors, and you're very comfortable eating the same thing daily, weekly, monthly. Actually, you might be autistic. 3 obsessions: grapes, autumn, and anything pumpkin spice related or adjacent. Also possibly autistic. You're secretly rich, but you're too anxious to spend the money. Sometimes you even forget you can afford nice things. You have a very bright future working at the Jim Henson Creature Shop. You talk a good game, but half the time even you don't know what you're saying. You turn blagging into an art form. Athletic, highly strong, hates surprises. Athletic, tightly wound, likes to inflict surprises upon others. Loud, into 80s disco, and a bit of a Chad. A short king or queen with a huge attitude problem. Which one was you? You might be this animal. You have the sense of humor of a teenage boy, and you also eat like one. A walking oxymoron. Big brain energy, crippling social anxiety. You may have served in the military, because if somebody tries to start a war with you, you will ensure that they never know peace. A leggy vegan hippie who has an interesting relationship with cannabis. You don't laugh because the joke is funny. You laugh because you're anxious. You're an overachiever who burns out very quickly, and you eat as if there's a lion coming to take your lunch away. You like to go thrift shopping with your significant other because 2 pairs of bargain hunting eyeballs are better than 1. Complete maverick. Flipped the script and did what no one ever expected you to do. Most people take a conventional path, but you're not most people. You never need to be told to touch grass because you do it all the time anyway. Unsung hero. You clean up other people's messes and you do the jobs that no one else wants to do. Underrated, overhated. Eats clay as a form of self-care and has way too many piercings than is healthy for one person. You fail more often than you succeed, but when you do succeed, you make an absolute killing. The physical embodiment of the phrase, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. The physical embodiment of the phrase, try Jesus, do not try me, cause I throw hands. Which one was you? You might be this animal. A fashionable hermit who loves winter and hates people. A panicky psycho that has never successfully been domesticated. Excellent people skills, gets along with pretty much everyone, so you're either a chronic people pleaser or just a chill guy. You're much smarter than people give you credit for, and you thrive in environments that would overwhelm others. Also, you eat trash and yet you thrive. How? Eats lots of fruit, obsessed with aromatherapy. You just love your essential oils, smelling them, rubbing them, tasting them. You're just oily. You love the loves, and you love to love the loves. You want all the loves. You also want all the loves, but you want it on your own terms because boundaries. You're also a little bit shallow. You don't know what boundaries are. It doesn't matter what obstacles lie before you. You will literally risk it to get the biscuit. You have a very extensive diet. Granted, it's just meat, but it's over 90 different iterations of meat. You also store corpses in trees, so you might be a serial killer. You do not believe in grooming. Your facial hair is constantly grizzled, and you spend a lot of time bed rotting on the couch and watching movies, which is why you reek of popcorn! You're an a-hole. But you're a very likable a-hole. You also have a problem with impulse control because you can't stop eating garbage. Which one was you? You might be this animal. When you get angry, you count to 10 and the countdown goes like this. 1, 2, 10! You make all the roaring sounds in your death metal band and your table manners are atrocious. A competitive eater who likes wrestling and sunbathing. A belligerent dum-dum with killer night vision. A paragliding enthusiast with a massive sweet tooth. Your motto is, no score is too small to settle. If you know, you know. A girl boss who likes mascara and fluffy scarves. You have a harsh, demanding lifestyle, and as a result, you don't have time for people's BS. You see everything the world has to offer, and you are impressed by none of it. You've probably worked too long in retail. Looks lethal, but is actually sweet. Looks sweet, but is actually lethal. Looks weird and is surprisingly lethal. Looks lethal, is lethal! Which one was you? You might be this animal. Your favorite date night activity is karaoke with your significant other. You have a disturbing party trick that involves your back teeth. Or you might just be Hugh Jackman. There is a spectrum of colors available to you, and yet green is your default? For the last time, green is not a creative color! Okay, the red sunglasses. They started as a fashion statement, and now you've made it your entire personality. Your method acting skills are impeccable. If you're trying to act like a tree branch. You constantly talk smack about your neighbors. Do better and mind your own business. You come from a really big family, which is why you hate sharing food! You're a big picture person because you see things and notice details that others can't. You also have a bit of a cannibalism fetish? Hello, police? You are loved by a few, respected by some, and hated by many, for all the right reasons. You're that person who likes to hum when you're eating, and the more you like the food, the louder you hum. You look scary, but you've actually got a good heart because you're altruistic to those in need. You're also into red wine and gothcore. Which one was you? Be honest! Aloha mammals, if you find any of this even remotely entertaining, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that in future you get more videos from me to you. Okay, back to the video. Ram! You might be this animal. Soft, adorable, and high maintenance. Expensive skin products only. You avoid your problems by dramatically yeeting yourself in the opposite direction. That's not healthy, by the way. Go talk to a therapist. You look professional, but your main skill involves curb stomping your enemies into oblivion. You stare at people until they leave you alone. It always works. You eat everything! If it fits in your mouth and doesn't kill you first, it's food. People call you one thing, but you're actually something else. It used to annoy you, but now you're just tired of correcting people. The best type of person. Just kidding, you're Elon Musk. Moving on! Shy, mysterious, and somehow always dressed like a model. You're that girl everyone's jealous of because all the fat in your body gets deposited in your boobs and your butt. The rest of you is all muscle. A consummate completionist! Unless and until those Lego sculptures of the Millennium Falcon are finished, you will not rest. Obsessed with parkour and has bedroom skills that are nothing short of acrobatic. People think your job doesn't really mean much, but in reality, you're low-key saving the world. Which one was you? What about elephants? That's a sweet question because you might be this animal. Tiny, adorable, and completely unhinged. Murder in dancing shoes. You spend a lot of time at the gym and it shows, especially in your jawline. You terrify your enemies with a display of weaponized gymnastics. You look terrifying, but you only care about two things: eating fish and vibing. You look terrifying. That's it. A weird mix of things that shouldn't work together, but yet somehow, they all do. Curls into a ball when stressed and avoids confrontation at all costs. A giant sensitive empath / drama queen with a flawless memory bank. No matter how old you get, you still have a baby face. You either look like a fount of ancient wisdom or just in desperate need of a hug. There is no happy medium. Before you pop off, you give people a fair warning, and if they don't listen, that's on them. A bodybuilder who's also a cuddle therapist because you hug really well. A little too well. You own a copious amount of shoes. Like, a lot of shoes. As in, you could start your own shoe store. So, which one was you? Because you might be this animal. You survived a hellish childhood and grew up to be an absolute icon. Your idea of heaven is an endless supply of french fries and wedges. This guy is a rich creative who regularly donates to orphanages. This guy is the reason orphans and orphanages exist. You have a spicy personality whilst being elegance personified. You are the imitation of a spicy personality and elegance personified! An exceptional swimmer with mad face painting skills. You also study part-time at Clown College. You take your time, but once you fully commit to someone or something, there's no escape. You love seafood so much that you will punch through glass to get it. Also, don't ever become a professional boxer. You will kill someone. A tree-hugging introvert who ghosts people. Nobody really knows what you're up to and you kind of like it that way. Oh god, that's me. You make weird noises and somehow manage to survive every holiday. Except two. Everything about you is weird, but that's also what makes you special. And weird. You're shy, sparkly, and spend most of your time on the ground. If glitter was an introvert. You've turned resting bitch face into an art form and you don't know what the word bedtime means. So, which ones were you? Because you might be this animal. Fluffy and judgmental. You do everything with an air of dignity and a generous amount of sass. Smart, sarcastic, and you hold grudges like it's your full-time job. You move at your own pace, ignore drama, and somehow live longer than everybody else. You may be tall, graceful, and elegant, but when you drink, you become really awkward. You are incredibly misunderstood and secretly iconic. You have the face of an angel and the vocal cords of a demon. Case in point! Your favorite pastime is using a drone as an offensive weapon. Or is that your toxic trait? You look unapproachable, but really you're just trying to mind your own business. When you were a child, your favorite place on the playground was the sandbox. Now that you're grown,
Not much has changed. Your fashion sense is bougie, but your taste in food is trash. You sing loudly, and you're definitely that friend who makes weird faces in photos. You're built for cold weather and hauling emotional baggage up metaphorical mountains. When you and your lover make out, foreplay involves a lot of screaming. So, which ones were you? Because you might be this animal. You've never had a good hair day in your life, and if you did, it was very short-lived. I'm so sorry. Your favorite dessert might be rhubarb and custard. Just a wild guess. You have phenomenal riz on the dance floor, but you still end up getting eaten alive by the opposite sex. Your biggest self-care expenses are beard oil and mustache wax. You're also probably a ginger. Your skincare routine is simple, effective, and incredibly messy. Complete and utter sociopath. You shit on everybody's doorstep, including your own. You have a very promising future as a cartoon voice actor. You have a very promising future as a sound mixer. You're goofy, flamboyant, and your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Your cuddly exterior belies a powerful sleeper build. You can also twerk with the best of them. If you know, you know. You hail from a tropical climate, but you look like you belong in Middle Earth. You're small, but you're an excellent swimmer, and your cologne makes a statement. A high flyer with simple tastes. In fact, when you go out to dinner, your motto is dress classy, eat trashy. So, which ones were you?